pocket. So I had to go back and tell that woman, who's now elbow deep in trash and food garbage, that I had the key all along. And she laughed. I mean, she took it really well. But I was mortified that I had gone into a full panic, assumed the worst, and people had acted upon my worst assumption. And it was just me being stupid.
Yeah. Just repeat that last two sentences, or last sentence.
It was just me.
You were astonished that someone would, go ahead.
That she
someone would take what I said. Go ahead.
She would take what I told her to be real, to be what was true.
Without what?
Without any hesitation, without even, questioning it.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anybody about that for a real long time. I didn't tell my mother. I mean, at 8 or 9, I had sworn myself to the grave on this one. I wasn't going to tell anybody. And so when I lose my keys now, in the fury of the whole drama that's played out in my head, that's what I see. I go back to that. And there's a couple of others. There's another one, but that's it. That's the one.
Okay. All right. Now you're able to plug into this memory. All right. Next up, without which you're not out. Why do we have to reflect? Come on. Why do we have to reflect on this? Because you have to discover something important, and that is that you're applying something you learned, and that's why you have the problem. Okay? What are you doing? You're applying something you learned, and now you see the impact of it outside of the house. That's why these scenes are so important. Right? What is it? There's something that went on. See? There's something went on in the house. Here it is. Or earlier, most often in the house. You're applying it here. If this didn't go on, you wouldn't have walked away with the problem. Okay, you say it. Let's see how you would say it. If it weren't for, try it again.
If it weren't for something that I had learned earlier in my home, this particular incident with the lady in the garbage, it wouldn't have had the impact that it did.
That's right. Now we have to prove that. Okay. You and I, we have to prove that.
Okay.
Only from the data. Right? You stay with the logos. You stay with the words. Right? Okay. Say, in terms of this story, 8-year-old story with that woman, was that a victory or a defeat? Was that a failure or a success?
It was a failure.
Success.
How so?
How did the woman take it?
Oh, she laughed. She laughed hard. She thought it was hysterical.
Yeah. And you found the keys.
And I found the keys.
And you found the keys.
Yeah.
And she had to laugh at herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is it you concluded that caused such a turmoil in your soul? That someone would take what I told or what I said to be real without without any questions. Ah, that's an interesting statement, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, wait a minute. How did you then take the blame? You took the blame for this, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, if it weren't for me, she wouldn't have had a garden.
Well, is she upset?
No, because she's a good person, and she has a good sense of humor.
And she realized that she goofed, didn't she? She was, yeah, I should have asked her questions. She laughed, wasn't she? She was having a good laugh. It was in your pocket all along.
Well, yeah, but the onus would be on me to have. She probably assumed that I would have checked my pockets before I told her that they're gone. I threw them away.
No doubt about it. Therefore, whose problem was it? Thank you. Whose problem was it then?
It was my problem.
Pardon me. Whose problem was it from what you just concluded?
I'm sorry, I'll have to do it again because
We'll do it again.
Up with me.
Well, what did you say she should have done?
She naturally assumed. I mean,
thank you.
what?
She naturally assumed. Did you have a reflection that you told us about right here?
Yeah.
What's that?
She took what I told her. Why else would I tell her that if it weren't real?
I certainly agree with you in part. In terms of your own awareness, what does that statement mean? I was astonished. I was surprised that someone would take what I told them to be real without
Question.
look here, is this seeing something? What would you call this? Is that an insight? See?
Yes.
You're looking at her, right? And you're saying, oh my gosh. How was your seeing at that moment?
Yes. Turn back over myself. Wow, how did that happen?
How did what happen? How did what happen?
How did that come out of there? that statement.
I didn't make it up.
No, I know. That's pretty amazing.
At this point then, who's responsible? I didn't hear you.
Well,
Go ahead. What happened? By the way, do you think she may have learned from this?
yes.
To do what?
When an 8-year-old tells you that they threw their keys away to make sure that they're not in their pockets.
Or 18? So therefore, what kind of a judgment is this you're making at 8 years old? Whose problem is it?
It's hers. But doesn't that...
You do say, do you not, that she would have learned from this and it wouldn't happen again?
I hope so, yes.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. If not, what would we say about her? Yeah, yeah.
But, okay, I have a question then. Would my